What up, everybody? Welcome to Nomad Live. Me and my guy Samo, man, listen. My mind and my emotions have been through a roller coaster for the last few days, man. And I've been wanting, it seems like all the time, and always feels like it's a long time before we ever go back live again. It seems like forever before we do the next show, especially in times like this. And I just been watching content creators and people on social media that ran off and had a whole bunch of narratives about, Justin Fields, this, that, and the third. And, some of it is partially right. I mean, when I say partially, I mean in a slight way. But if you guys recall on the last show, I said, kids and I were doing a lot of talking about how bad it looked, and I was kind of pessimistic on Justin, and I am to a degree still now because of the system that they have him playing in and what they're doing with him. But I told kids during the show, I warned them. I said, hey man, take it easy. Let's watch the all 22 before we jump to any conclusions about what is before we run off with a narrative about the way things look. And over the last couple of days, I did my own study and my own homework. But Baldy, on Baldy's breakdowns, Brian Baldinger, he broke it down for me because I was ready to do a whole all 22 video, beg Nick to download the video for me so I can break it down because I was really pissed off. I was highly pissed off about, some of the narratives out there. But Brian Baldinger did it all for me. So it's only a couple of minutes, and we're going to show that here in a few. But it was it's our offensive coordinator is in over his head. He is not in waist deep water anymore. He is in way over his head. And he's calling play school Lego type of plays that when you play in a team like the Kansas City Chiefs defense, who was a Super Bowl champion defense, you got to diversify what you're doing out there, or it's going to look like it's a day off for the DBs. But instead of me talking so much, Brian Baldinger broke it down perfectly for you guys. I also seen him on CHGO further expand on what he had to say in that video. So, this is not the show to completely absolve Justin of his of his shortcomings, because he had some, but it's not what we thought it was after the game. We were real upset about this stuff. So, I'm just glad that, some of the detail is out, the nuance to what Justin was seeing is out. People can see for themselves and not be so, down on that guy and putting all the blame on that guy, man. It's a lot of blame to go around. And I'm starting with the offensive coordinator, who is he has probably no business, in this job, to be honest with you. But I digress. Before I go any further, my man Samuel is here with us. He missed the last show. Glad to have you back, bro.
What's up? What's up? It's good to be back. Shout out to all the No Maniacs. Samo back in the building. Man, I got a lot to talk about as well, man. Shout out to Baldy, man, for breaking it down. He hasn't been the only guy that's been breaking it down. I saw one from Kurt Warner, the Hall of Famer. He broke it down the week before. And and just a lot of the national media guys and national guys who know quarterback play really well. They're all saying the same thing, and it's not just Justin. It's also has a lot to do with the play designs and as well as the play calling. So we'll get into it.
I got three things to mention to you guys. Three different instances, three different players. Justin was asked about why are you so mechanical and so robotic. First thing out of his mouth was coaching. Had to go out and rescind the comment because it took off on social media, always throwing the coaches under the bus. That went by. The game against Tampa Bay, DJ on a hot mic. Hey, bro, this is one of the Tampa Bay players. They asking a linebacker or a DB, one of them, I can't remember. Hey, bro, they're not using you the right way. DJ said, hey, tell me about it, bro. Yep. Chase Claypool asked him today, are they using you correctly? And I'm not quoting what she said. You'll read the quote here in a second. In other words, she said, "Are you being used to the best of your ability?" And he said, "Well, he thought about it, bit his tongue a little bit, and like, ain't no need in lying, man. No, ain't no need in lying." And so we're gonna look at the context of that conversation here in just a second. But the whole point of it is, is when you have three different offensive guys saying pretty much the exact same thing, there's a problem there. Where there's smoke, Sam, there is fire. I've
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying that Luke Getsy can't miraculously get into his bag and change up some things, because I got some other thoughts about what he is and isn't doing with the talent that he has. But that is this malpractice of the talent that we have going so far in game 3 of this season. It is malpractice when it comes to the use of the talent that we have, man. And I'm tired of it. It's making everybody upset. It's making these players look bad. And they didn't sign up for this, man. These guys, DJ came here and was promised a steak dinner, and he got a hot dog.
Mm-hmm.
Chase Claypool came over here and was expecting something, and he got a hot dog.
Yep.
Darnell Mooney came off of injury. He was expecting something. He got a hot dog. We're getting a hot dog. And it's you can ramble on about Poles and his hiring. No, he gave it to Flus. This is Flus's hire. You give your coach the autonomy to hire who you want. If you believe in him, if you trust him, we got a young quarterback. You think this guy can get this guy where we need him to be? This is your hire. So don't put Poles into that conversation. That's on Flus. That's on Flus. And I'm not saying that he didn't have. I think, to be honest with you, I think Flus has a role in the plays that they're scripting. I don't know what you think about that, Sam, but he's in that room all the time, and the head coach is going to want to know what you got lined up, what's on your menu, and he's probably got some say. So, what do you think?
I think Flus absolutely knows what's going on, man. Prior to the actual game, he has to approve the actual game plans that the offenses are going to run, and he's sitting there witnessing the lack of creativity and the lack of the use of all the weapons that Ryan Poles has went out and assembled. Man, all the speed that we have on offense, we're negating on our own. And I keep hearing all of this talk about well, they're double teaming DJ Moore. Dude, I don't want to hear that, because there's creative ways to get guys open, and especially your best weapon. We see other teams do it every week. Tyreek Hill is not complaining about that. Justin Jefferson isn't complaining about that, and we've never heard of this until now, that because this guy is getting double teamed on every play, we can't throw him the ball. We can't get the ball to him. So now he gets 2 touches a game. When he came here from Carolina, he went through an assortment of quarterbacks, and he's never had this less of success this early in the season prior to his rookie year. And right now he's on pace to have a record low year, and it's just sad, man. And it has everything to do with coaching, and it's on the offense. I'm not going to completely absolve Flus from any of the blame, because they're his coaches. Like you say, he chose Getsy, and he has to get Getsy on track.
Sam, if you're the GM, if you're a competent GM, if you want to be a GM and do it the right way, to me, the formula goes like this. You get hired, you bring in the coach that you trust and you believe in. When you do that, you give that coach the autonomy, even if you have some reservations about the hires that he's making. He came in here with a vision. You trust his vision. You like what he's talking. You like his leadership. I'm the biggest Flus fan out here in the Bears community. I really believe in the guy. However, you have to take the bitter with the sweet. He had faith in Getsy, and he hired Getsy, an unproven offensive coordinator. I get it. I saw it like everybody else saw. Well, okay, wow, you got a young quarterback that's not developed. Why would you hire an unproven? Because it happens all the time. It happens all the time. Coaches with you're inexperienced until you're experienced, right? So he gave someone a chance. I got into a little spat with Aldo about it. I don't call it a spat, but we had an exchange of words. It was he's talking about the history of the Bears, organization hiring incompetent people. I'm just like, nobody's competent until they're competent. I mean, I respect Flus and Poles before that for giving Flus the opportunity and Flus in turn giving other people who are unproven at the job an opportunity. It's the results that I'm disappointed in. So just the process of how that all happened, I had no argument with it. I just wanted to see how it plays out. What they've done since realizing that, okay, this guy, we've got these weapons. How are you, Samo? How do you number 12? Just imagine if I was Flus or Getsy, if I was Getsy and I hired you as a consultant, which they can do right now, bring in a consultant right now. And you are a proven consultant to be able to get quarterbacks going and offensive weapons going. And you're in watching one-on-one practice and they're playing 7-on-7 or whatever they're doing. And you watching number 12 on our team and number 13 just blowing past people and just lighting people up. And you're going to ask me, you're going to be like, hey, man, who is number 12 and 13? And what do you mean? Why come you can't design plays to put balls in their hands? They're the most explosive two guys you have on the team. Well, you think you can do something? You think you can design something to get these guys the ball? Oh, hell yeah. Let's go to the, you know what I mean? Like, what are we doing
Absolutely.
Here? What the hell are we doing?
I think a competent offensive coordinator who's experienced and understands the type of weapons that we have here in Chicago would love to come in as a consultant and will probably take that job away from Luke Getsy. So that's probably why that's not going to happen, because I'm not sure that Luke Getsy would be open to that.
Pep Hamilton.
Pep Hamilton, exactly. And that's where I was going to go with it as well. Like, we allow the best guy for the job to walk out of the building. Let me tell you why Pep Hamilton was the best placed person for the job. It's because he's proven the ability to develop quarterbacks. He did it with Andrew Luck, and he just came from Houston, a Houston team that had I forgot this guy's name, who's not even starting anymore. The last Davis Mills. Yes, Davis Mills was playing competent football. He was playing very well, so well.
He also was the QB coach in LA when Justin Herbert came in as a rookie.
When Justin Herbert came in as a rookie, yes.
Was he rookie of the year or rookie of the year candidate as a QB?
Yes.
Yeah.
Pep is the guy who should have gotten this job, man, for that alone, man. I think that's where, polls kind of lost me, because even though, you want to trust your head coach to hire the offensive coordinator, you also have to guide, and you also have to know, like, we need a guy in place who's proven the ability to develop quarterbacks. If we want to see what we have in Justin Fields, and if we want to see Justin Fields develop, then we have to get someone in place who knows how to do that, and not someone who's learning on the job. And that's what's essentially happening here. Luke Getsy is learning on the job. He's just as raw as Justin is in his position right now, and he's learning on the job. And we couldn't afford for that to happen, but the powers that be allowed it to happen. And now we're stuck in this place, but we don't have to be stuck in this place. And that's where Poles has to step in and say, hey, we have 4 winnable games coming up right now. Something has to change. And if I don't see something change, then I'm going to make that change for you. And that's just what we have to see, man.
Chris.
Well, to me, it's going to be a matter of ego. I mean, I don't think it should even have to go to polls. Eberflus, he needs to be in the business of problem solving right now. Mm-hmm. And he's got his hands on the defense. We're not even going to talk about the defense, but we know that there's, not yet. But he needs to be in the problem solving business right now. And I agree, Pep should have been the guy out the gate. Back when the process was taking place a year and a half ago, I thought, Pep was going to be the guy. But he needs to bring in somebody that can correct this. I'm not sure if his ego will allow him to say, hey, maybe I was wrong. I wouldn't even be worried about Getsy's ego, because, of course he thinks he can do the job, but the results aren't there, man. And this is slowly slipping away. And it's one thing, it's one thing to not have a winning season. I mean, we didn't expect I mean, sure, we picked the records where we expected to. That was hopeful expectations. But the reality is we don't have the talent, in my estimation, to put a dent in the playoffs. So he's got to be in the business about not letting this thing get away from him and losing the team. I mean, when you have guys speaking up like this, you know, mutiny couldn't be far off. So
It's not.
I, I don't want to see that happen, and because and hopefully polls won't let it happen, but somebody's gonna have to be about problem solving.
So before we're gonna really get the cutting in here just a second here. But Chris, let's play that Chase Claypool clip, and then how we're supposed to do it when you're gonna represent someone's statement or something they said. Make sure, as a responsible podcaster or whoever is creating content out here, make sure you represent the full context of the conversation so he's not left out there to dry. So that's the way we prefer to do it here. So go ahead, Chris.
To showcase the best of what you can do.
Okay. So that was the clip that was put out before the full context of the conversation, which I thought was unfair and uncalled for. If you were going to put that out there, why would you cut it like that and not put the whole context of what was said in total? So in the way he responded to what you asked him. And so to me, that was unfair. Whoever did that, that's unfair, man. And it's uncalled for. Somebody was just trying to start a little storm online, and it worked, and people reacted to it. And that's silly to me, because to me, it's just people out here trying to get traction or get clicks for whatever reason it is. And this is why, and this is the part I hate about this, the media, some parts of the media and the fan base, is because someone will do that for clout and clicks, and then the media, the fans will follow like lemmings right off of a cliff and just start tearing the young guy down instead of reading the full context of what he had to say. And that's why we can't have nice things in Chicago, is because of stuff like that. So let's go ahead and read the full context of the conversation. So here was Courtney. Your expectations changed from last year when you got traded here from where you are right now? ? His response: yeah, things change, and that determines on. Sometimes things around you either elevate you or you have to adapt and allow you to elevate with them. So I've just been adapting to the new system and the new role in the system and trying to make the most out of it. Question: do you feel like you've been put in the best position as a receiver to showcase the best of what you can do? The answer was no. So that was the little clip you just saw. He just answered that straight out. Question: would you say it's not ideal? He said, no, I wouldn't say that. I think every situation has the ability to be ideal, and I think we're just working towards that. I'm not going to say that. I wouldn't say that it's not an ideal place for me. Obviously, there are other places. You can say, quote, oh, I want to be on the best offense and with the highest passing yards, but that doesn't happen in football. You just have to make do with what you got. Question: what is the best place for them to put you in for you to succeed? Answer: I'll let them decide that. I'm not going to give any pointers. That's their job to decide, and I'll just do what they tell me to do. Okay. So what I just saw there was no lies detected, Samo. None whatsoever.
None at all.
So go ahead, man. Just run.
Yeah, the man, he didn't lie. Like, he thought about it, and he paused because he thought about, saying yes, but he knew that he had to be honest right there in that moment, and he just answered simply no. And what he's saying there is, afterwards, is that it's up to the coaches to figure this out right now. It's not an ideal situation for him. It's not an ideal situation for anyone in that building on the offensive side of the ball right now. I think that all of the players are conversated, man, and they know what the issues are with that offense. And the players know before we know. They're sitting there and they're conversating amongst each other, but they don't have the power to go to the coaches and tell them, look, we want to change this, we want to change that. I shouldn't be doing this, or I want to do that. You know, he's unhappy, just as Justin Field is unhappy right now. Darnell Mooney and everyone else on the offense. I'm sure DJ Moore is not happy. You know, they're all right now just caught up in this dumpster of filth right now that's being created by Luke Sketsy, and none of them look inspired or happy or feel like anything's going to change either. That's what I wanted to say from, you know, looking at him. He didn't look confident that things are going to change, you know, like this week's game plan is going to be much better. You know, he didn't say anything to that effect, which, you know, has me a little nervous about this week.
So, Samuel, I was like I told you earlier, man, I was so happy when Baldy put out that breakdown, because it took a bunch of work from me. I hate doing that kind of stuff, man. It just takes too much time, and I got too many things to think about. And so Baldy did it for me, man. He what he showed you in this video we're about to show you is about 4 plays and the shortcomings of an offensive coordinator when it comes to, you know, trying to scheme out something to give this defense, a championship defense, a run for their money. It looked like a day off for the DBs. And let's just play the video, and we'll talk about it after that.
Let's just watch the Chicago Bears against the world champions and just see how much better Kansas City is than Chicago. This is 3rd and 4, first third down of the game. Here comes DJ Moore in motion. Here comes L'Jarius Sneed with him. They're talking. They're communicating in this bunch formation. It's going to be man coverage. Watch how they do this here. That's all Justin Fields has right there, is those 3 receivers. All right, 3rd and 4, he's got pressure right on top of him. All right, now he's going to try and scramble, get out of it. He's got nothing. All right, takes a sack. All right, now, here we go. You watch these guys. Watch L'Jarius Sneed run here with DJ Moore. He runs the route better than he does. Oh, and by the way, they're doubling Darnell Mooney. And by the way, that's the only receiver out. It's max protection right here on 3rd and 6. So all we can do here is try and throw the ball somehow to DJ Moore. He's got nothing. All right, now here we go. It's 3rd and 6. So 3rd and 6, you got a rookie tackle over here, okay? He's playing really good, playing hard, all right? But he's got one of the best defensive linemen, if not the best in the NFL on him. And Chris Jones, Stone Cold Jones. They just gave him $100 million, okay? Like, they've got the rookie here one-on-one. All right, it's a tough matchup. He just destroyed the rookie from Jacksonville the week before. And you give the help over here to Karlaftis? You put Kmet over here on Karlaftis? Like, what sense does that make? This is an all-pro player. This is a good player. Like, that doesn't make any sense. And so here comes Chris Jones. All right, down goes Fields. All right, here we go. 3rd and 7. You watch these. This is 2 receiver out now. Watch the receivers. DJ Moore here and Tyler Scott. And you tell me what Justin Fields should do. The route's horrible. Like, it's a rookie. I get it. But you can't smother a receiver any better than these receivers are smothered. Kansas City is a world champion team. You just have to be better in design and execution. I'm just showing 4 plays, but this is play to play to play. Anybody that says this is like just Justin Fields is crazy.
Puke.
You got Tyler Scott going deep on a deep comeback route, which is beyond me when you only have 2.
How long does it take for that to develop?
Exactly. That's beyond me. Like, come on, man.
What the heck? I was looking at this stuff, man, and I was just like, man, he basically gave Kansas City secondary the day off. They just like, man, what this is cake, man, dude. We can do this. Let's do this. This is what they running at us? Like, what the man, what are you doing sending the chip over to Borum's side when the rookie's over there with dang on Jones? What are we doing? What is really?
And on
going
top
on?
of that, the right guard swings over to triple team someone instead of helping.
Yeah.
Whatever his name is, Darnell Wright.
Darnell Wright.
What is going on with the coaching?
Communication, man. Lack of communication amongst those guys on the offensive line. That was just a bad rep there. But this offense lacks creativity, and you know what it also tells me is that it's absolutely predictable. Because, like he said, those corners were running the routes for the receivers. They knew those route combinations like the back of their hands. They knew what was coming before it even came.
The
It
very
was like,
first one, he went in motion with DJ, and he knew the outside guy was going to run across.
yep,
So he
he's like,
waited on him.
pass
He
that on. Yep, he
waited
waited.
on him to come to him.
Look,
That's
man,
ridiculous.
that means that there's no creativity and it's absolutely predictable, and and it's not working, man. And it's not well coached. I know they want to keep saying that it's on execution. The players aren't executing. It looks good in practice. Either if it's looking good in practice, then that means that your scout team defense is either not challenging these guys properly in practice, or that guys are just going through the motion in practice. And that's what it's seeming like to me. If it's looking good in practice, because it's not working in the game. It doesn't matter what it looks like in practice. We've seen it not work in the game for 3 straight games now. You keep telling us, oh, well, it worked in practice. Dude, everyone is hip to exactly what you're doing. It's so predictable. It's not creative. We're not getting the ball in our playmakers' hands, and that's why we're failing.
Man, I'm watching this stuff, and I keep going back to number 12 and number 13, the two most explosive guys you have on the team. Period. Not only them, but where's number 21? Why is he not playing? You brought him here for a reason. Why in the hell is he not out there playing? You got 3 guys that are making, like, he's not even making the active roster the last couple of games. But you got 12 and 13, Tyler and Vegas, that are no part whatsoever of the offense. Like, all you have to do is get creative. Like, you can run some, like Roshan Johnson is an emergency quarterback when he was at Texas. Put him in Wildcat. Put Vegas behind him. Do some jet motions with Tyler Scott. There's all kinds of ways you can scheme up and make stuff happen and kind of make the defense a little shaky and misunderstood about what they're about to be dealing with. They're totally understood about what's going to come to them, and they can react to it. It's no creativity whatsoever. And in order to be an effective offensive coordinator and be effective at getting, first downs and moving the ball down the field, you need to be able to shake that defense up a little bit, get them a little unsteady, get them on their heels. There's none of that happening. And that's what leads me to tell me, and I'm going to say this again, still has time to change things around, still has time to adjust to the shortcomings. But thus far, man, this is piss poor to a level that I can't tolerate no more. So I'm done being nice Nomad when it comes to the coach and the coordinators and all that. I'm calling balls and strikes, man. He is as of now, he's basically he can't do the job, man. He's incompetent.
He's incompetent. Go ahead, Chris.
Sunday to me could very well be, I mean, it's the most crucial game of the season. Simply not because we're 0-3, but the circumstances surrounding the game. Okay, we have this mild uprising against of the players that you could sense, but we're playing at home against a team that just gave up 70 points.
Mm-hmm.
And if we put on the type of exhibition that we've done the last 3 weeks, I expect something explosive to happen Monday. I don't know what that'll be, but if they lose to Denver, and they could very well lose in a great way to Denver, Russell Wilson's not playing bad.
No,
Russell Wilson, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's not playing bad.
He ain't the problem.
That could get ugly quick if they continue to play like this at home. Sunday could be Black Monday come 3 months earlier.
We also have a coach in Sean Payton who was embarrassed. You don't think that he's coming in here with a head full of steam? You got to be crazy.
Chicago
this is his
Bear.
hometown. Exactly. in his hometown, he's coming here with a head full of steam, and he's so happy that this is the team that he has to face right now. They're licking their chops over there. He's scheming up all type of crazy stuff.
You're damn right.
To beat those zones, to bust up our zones, and allow Russell Wilson to just go crazy on us, man. So we're going to have our work cut out for us. And Nomad, you bring up a good point about the running game. I think that's where it starts, man. We have 45 rushes in 3 games by the running backs. 45. 5 of those carries are from Dr. Foreman, who hasn't played since the first game, which I don't understand. We haven't seen this outside zone scheme that we were killing teams with last year. So I don't know what's going on with the running game right now. We see David Montgomery in Detroit rush for 32 times in one game yesterday. So that's
congratulations to Don Bird too.
Congrats to Don Bird, man.
To Don.
They are the team to beat. Detroit is the team to beat in this division, and right now, I'm glad we don't play them right now. We have 4 games before we have to face those guys off. So we need to get our stuff together well before we face those guys, because right now they're hitting on all cylinders, and we're not hitting on a cylinder. All this talk about us being close to what? I don't know what we're close to. We've been getting blown out game after game after game. So what are we close to? Getting closer to not getting blown out, or they're saying that there were 7 or 8 plays that weren't properly executed by the players.
I'll tell you what we're close to, Sam. The wheels ain't came off, but damn lugs getting loose. So we a couple of rotations down the road. Them bad boys
stuck on them. We supposed to be stuck on that highway. Yep.
Leo Factor says Ryan Poles is young, and I think it will be hard for him to fire anybody. They will bench Fields before anybody gets fired. If they bench Justin Fields, they might as well cut him, because they can't bring him back. And the players, they might lose the team over that, because the players know it's not on Justin. And if they bench him before they make any type of coaching adjustment or change, they might as well cut him, because they would have lost him. And
Chris,
I would hate to see it.
Everybody is hollering about fire this person, get rid of that person, do this, do that. No, you got a quarterback that just learned the system and is trying to get comfortable with what this guy is scheming up for him. He's trying his best. You bring a new coordinator in out of nowhere that ain't got no familiarity with the pieces that you have, and what do you do there? You want to fire the GM? You want to fire the coach? You want to fire both of the coordinators? Are we just acting out, fans? Are we just acting out and just blurting out because we're emotional? What are y'all talking about? If anything, you try to bring in some help to try to straighten this out. Now, if you want to let go of Getsy, you have a quarterback coach that if you can pull him into the office and say, what kind of playbook can you draw? I mean, what kind of scheme can you draw? Can you draw up something? Because we might go in a different direction and you might be the next guy. I can see that.
But I don't think that Andrew Janocko is the answer, man, because I looked at his resume and there's nothing inspiring about it. He fell into this job. That's the good old coaching tree. Good old coaching pipeline, where you go and shake hands at different events, and him and Getsy became close, is what that seems like. He was an offensive quality control coach for most of his career, and then assistant offensive line coaching, a bunch of stops, and just recently with the Vikings, he was promoted in 2020 to wide receivers coach, then to quarterbacks coach before they blew that up, and then Getsy brings him here. There's nothing about him that says he's ready to call plays, build plays, or because we see that he's not helping Justin right now. So I don't think that's the answer. I think your first choice, which was to bring a consultant in here, and I've been hearing names like Greg Roman maybe, is the right answer to probably getting the wheels back on this thing and getting these guys moving.
Samo, man, let me say this, man. I get so frustrated watching 12 and 13, Tyler and Vegas not being involved and not having an effective, dynamic enough play call to threaten the defense. You don't have to even throw the ball to them. Let them be in the play to threaten the defense. And maybe some of the stuff you want to do underneath can actually work. Maybe some of the runs, the zone schemes, some of that stuff that you want to run can work. But you need your most explosive weapons to threaten the ball deep and keep them safeties at bay. At least get them on their heels. If you can't do that, what does the defense do but constrict? They get tighter and tighter and tighter. So it's really just on the offensive side of the ball, we lack creativity. There's no creativity, man. He's a stick in the mud. And I'm gonna say this before I go any further. I keep noticing this every game. Not since Flus took over the play calling duties on defense, but before that, I'm always seeing Flus on the microphone while plays are coming in to Justin. He's got a hand in that somehow. Nobody's talking about that, but I've been noticing that since last year, and it's carried on into the first couple of games of this year. He's got a hand in this in this whatever they're scheming up for the offense. So I don't know. I got a feeling, man, he's too conservative, and he's got this idea of what he wants this offense to be like. It's probably kind of like what Detroit has going on right now. Really ball control, really efficient. Get your first downs here and there, but run the ball mostly. That's probably what he wants, but it's not really working out that way. Why? Because you're not threatening in other areas, man. They're not respecting what Justin can do with the ball in his hands because you haven't threatened anybody. So that's the way I see it, man. I think Flus has got a big hand in the offensive game plan, but Getsy really doesn't know what he's doing.
Man, he should, and he should have a hand in it, man. He absolutely has to go over and help Getsy out because Getsy doesn't know what he's doing. I don't know if he's on the mic, telling Getsy, what to look for or something that he may have saw. That's anyone's guess right now exactly what he's communicating to Getsy, or if he's communicating directly to Justin Fields in that moment, which I kind of doubt. But like Justin says, he does have too many guys talking to him and too much coaching. So it could very well be that. I don't know what the issue is, man. I know that they have to get it together, man. And it starts with Luke Getsy because it's his baby. That's what he's been brought here to do. And I don't know what happened from last year to this year, but last year we were a lot more efficient. Last year I saw adjustments made at halftime. Last year I saw us put up 30 plus points for 5 games. So what happened to that type of offense? What happened to that type of aggression that we had on offense now with better talent? I don't understand.
Well, Eberflus, I don't know what the answer is either, but he's the one responsible for finding the solution. And that should be this. So we're going to keep working and we're going to keep, and that coach speak that we hear every week, that's Nagy speak to me. It doesn't mean anything. You got to do something right now at this point to find a solution to our problems. And I'm strictly talking offensively. The offense is a joke. I didn't expect the defense to be super great. Now that we've got so many injuries in the secondary, my hope for the defensive line, I'd say at this point get Justin Jones, give those reps to Dexter.
Yes.
Let those guys develop because Justin Jones has been pretty much invisible. Billings has been your best defensive lineman.
We was going to defense here in a minute, man. We was going there.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Check the chat. Check the private chat, Chris. But
yeah, he's responsible for finding these solutions, and he better get to doing it.
Yeah, it's Go ahead, Sam.
No, I'm just gonna say my problem with Flus and Getsy all week I've been hearing, it's execution. It's about the execution of the players. It doesn't seem like there's any accountability being taken by the coaches to me, man. And that's where I also take issue with Flus and Getsy, man. Getsy was up there smiling like, he just put up 40 and lost by 10 or something, man. I don't know what it was, but he was too confident sitting there. And it just made me uncomfortable. And I really feel like they're going to lose the locker room because they're sitting there. They're in every press conference now. For this week, we've heard that the players aren't executing properly. If they had executed properly, then we would have scored some points. Well, we wouldn't have gotten blown out. I guess that's what they're saying, because 7 or 8 plays is not going to win the ball game. I'm going to tell you that right now. But I haven't heard any accountability. And then you, on the other hand, you hear the players saying, well, we're not being coached well. So that means that there's about to be a tear in this locker room if we don't win this game, man. Like, we have to get something going in this game. We don't necessarily have to win this game, but we have to get something going. There has to be something positive that comes out of this game in order to keep the wheels on the car, like you said, Nomad.
Man, listen, there's before we flip to the defensive side of the ball, what you know what's going on is there's no malcontent in the locker room. You want to call Chase Claypool that if you want to. You can go run that narrative if you want to. Oh, we shouldn't have spent a 30-second pick on him. Why did the Pittsburgh? That's what people want to run off with instead of looking at why he's feeling the way. I was looking at Club Shay Shay, I think after game 2, when Justin made the statement about, they asked him why he's playing robotic, and he said coaching, right? And so Shannon Sharp used that when he was talking to Ocho Cinco. And that conversation was happening, and Chad basically checked Shannon. He was just like, man, he's right. You can't be being told too much while you're trying to decipher what's going on, because the play of the game is happening really fast. You don't need last-minute commentary about where you think something is when you got to go up to that line and decipher where you need to go with that ball after you see what you see. He straight up checked Shannon. And then after that, he started to have a conversation about Chase Claypool, and Shannon went in on Chase the same way a lot of the fans are going in. Chad Ochocinco checked him again. He's like, he said exactly what I've been saying a few weeks ago. Why is he playing like that? It's because you don't get him involved. If you don't get him involved, you get that dude some touches early, and you got you a player for the rest of the game. Put that ball in his hands. Show him what he's worth out there. Show him you're a part of this offense. Show him you're valuable to us, and you're going to get a player for the rest of the game. And that's exactly what Chad Ochocinco said. So it's mismanagement of talent. It ain't the fact that we don't have talent or the talent's no good or anything like that. It's mismanage it up. And there is a potential mutiny coming if they don't hurry up and get this thing right. And they got like this game and maybe the next one to do it, man. If they don't, man, I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be some ties running loose on.
It's gonna get ugly. It's gonna get ugly. It will definitely get ugly. Yeah, I saw that interview as well with Ocho and Shady Shannon up there, because he was throwing all type of shade towards our Bears that game. That day in that interview, man, and I commend our guy Ocho for standing up for the players, man, and understanding. Like, he had a good understanding of wide receivers, and he had a good understanding of where Justin was coming from. And you're right, we have been talking about getting Chase involved in the game early, man. I think he answered that question no, because we've been asking Chase Claypool to block linebackers and defensive linemen early on in the game for the first quarter and a half, and then we might throw him a ball. That's not what he came here for. That's not ideal to him. That's not what a wide receiver should be tasked with doing. I don't understand, who came up with these game plans or who decided that Chase was the guy that we're going to use in that capacity, but he's not that guy. And I absolutely believe in putting guys in position to succeed. That's not putting him in position to have success in this offense. If you want somebody that's going to do that and do that well and do it with a badge of honor, then you call EQ into the game. Then EQ has to play. Then you need to go to Ryan and you need to go to Flus and say, look, we need EQ because we don't want to keep asking Chase to do this. That's not what he's best suited at. We want Chase is best suited at going deep. He's a big body. Let's get Chase on some slants, hit him in the chest and get him running. Like, that's what we need to get to.
Sam, you know what the thing is, man. I think your average, I ain't gonna say your average, fans just think, all players are made, here's a system, here's what we do. You fit into your peg the way you fit into your space. Everybody's not the same, man. The motivation for every player if we were guys on the team, you motivate Nomad one way, you motivate Sam another way, and then you motivate Chris another way.
Yep.
How you get the best out of your players. And so if he's not doing exactly what you need him to do in one game, look at, okay, let's try something else with him. You see, obviously, when he got that ball early, he was involved. Man. They after DJ got on him and told him what he had to tell him, he came out there a different player. He was motivated in a different way. He's probably going to respond better to his teammates and his brothers than he is going to be the coach. You know, every guy's not made the same. So I think we rush to judgment on players, and sometimes we forget they're young, they're immature, and they're humans just like anybody else. You find different ways to motivate different people. Should he have come down with that deep ball to Justin threw him? Yeah, he's supposed to hot point at that and use his body and come down with that more times than not. He should have got that ball, but that's one play in the game. I know he wishes he could have had that back. But I think people need to lay off that guy because I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. If you don't lay off of him and things don't turn around, he's gonna go somewhere and he's gonna tear our behinds up. He's a really good football player. He's a stud football player, and there was a reason why they went and got him. He's just being mismanaged right now. And that's not any fault of his, you know. But before we go, let's go ahead and move. Before we go to the other side of the ball, man, make sure you guys hit that like button, man. It's too many people in this chat tonight. I don't know how many likes we have, man. We need to get those up. We need to show some solidarity and make sure you subscribe. I know things are down right now. The whole fan base is down, but we don't quit on you guys. We make sure we show up for you guys. We make sure we bring you guys content, and hopefully you guys appreciate it. But that's how you show the algorithm and you show YouTube that you like the stuff that we bring. You hit the like button and you subscribe. All of those who have not. So I just wanted to say that for you guys. But let's move to the defensive side of the ball, Sam. I'm tired of defending Flus.
You need to take a deep breath.
I'm tired of defending Flus. Flus is, and I'm not talking about politically. I'm talking about in his style of defense.
Yes.
You will let me tell you something. I've heard people telling me and all over Twitter, 4-3 doesn't work no more. The cover 2 defense doesn't work anymore. It's an antiquated scheme. Guess what? The top 2 defenses in the league, I ain't gonna say the top 2. I know the top defense is Dallas. Super Bowl winning defense is Kansas City. Yes. Another top-rated defense is New Orleans. All of them run the same defense in a different formula. San
Francisco,
same base system.
All of these.
Don't tell me nothing. Don't give me that crap about it's an antiquated and it's too old to be running. Get out of here. It's about your creativity and how you're willing to diversify your defense. When you look at it, I mentioned this last week. When you look at the way Dallas uses Micah Parsons to diversify their front, he never has him with his hands in the dirt. He stands him up. Why? Because Micah probably told him, "This is my best, position. This is my best." And he never just solely over there on the edge. He moves him to the middle. He moves him to the other side. You use those. It's how you diversify your 4-3. Every 4-3 is not made the same. Look at what they just did with Darnell Wright. They put the inside D tackle out there damn near on a wide 9 on Darnell Wright and let him rush. It's about finding the matchup, finding the weakness, and not being stuck in the mud with putting everybody all 4 down and trying to get these guys to penetrate a gap, and they leave a gap. When you haven't run a linebacker up the middle, sometimes you got to really, really put people in spaces so there aren't any spaces, and stop expecting the tackles to cover 2 spots. So if he shoots outside of the A gap, a D tackle shoots outside the A gap, and the running back sees it when he gets to the hole, he's just gonna cut a little bit inside and he's gone. If the linebacker's not right there, I mean, you have to jam holes so that the offenses are you have to stop them from wanting to run the ball. And he's doing the same thing over and over and over again. There's no variation to it. It has no creativity. It's just dry. And part of it I understand, Sam, because he has 3 of his top defensive backs out. I understand that, but you cannot play scared. You got
Cannot play scared.
got your top nickel, he's out. The top backup to him, you got your top safety, and you have what? Jalen Johnson is out now. But you have to show the players that are going to come in and step up and play those spots, you have to show them confidence and put them in position to make plays. You got to put pressure on the defense and let the chips fall where the offense and let the chips fall where they may. If they get beat a time or two, they get beat. But it won't be for you didn't pressure this quarterback to get rid of this ball. That's got to stop, man. Or he's just not competent to do this.
Look, we got to put guys in position to be successful. We can't keep playing scared football, man. It's like we playing that bend don't break system. You know, we're just going to allow guys to just matriculate the ball down the field, dink and dunk on us all throughout the game until they get close enough to just hit that touchdown. Like, that's not the way we should be playing football, man. We have these big 6-foot cornerbacks, man, with long arms who also have speed, by the way, and we're allowing them to sit back in coverage and backing up in zones as opposed to, you know, going up and pressing guys and preventing these receivers from free releasing off of the line of scrimmage and just running into zones and catching everything that and sitting in the open spots in the zone. Like, that's not how we should be playing football, man. That's not how you play defense in the NFL now. You have to be aggressive on defense, especially if we're blitzing, man. If we're sending a blitz, then we should be up there jamming, man. We should be slowing down and disrupting the timing of these routes, man. We shouldn't just be sitting back in zones. I don't understand it. Flus is supposedly this
man.
Yeah, he's stuck in the mud. Exactly. And setting his ways. Like, he has to evolve, man. If he doesn't, he's coaching for his head coaching life right now. That's essentially what he's doing. I think him calling the plays, you know, gives him full autonomy of the defense. And it's whatever he wants to do, whichever way he wants this defense to go is the way it's going to go. Right now, it's not going well. We don't have the defensive line that's going to get to the quarterback with 4 rushes on these stunts because these stunts aren't working. I don't know who's coaching the defensive linemen because I'm just watching the defensive linemen just walking up to guys and then what my old coach would say, titty bumping, grabbing the guy and titty bumping. We just sit here bumping chests with a guy as opposed to, you know, disengaging and trying to hit our gaps, man. I don't understand. There's no hand fighting. There's no movement, no moves being done. We're just trying to push guys back and getting engaged with guys, and we're playing right into the offense's hands, and we got to stop that. I think it starts with the defensive line. Like, we have to do a better job at coaching those guys to just hit their gap, destroy your gap. You know, if we're going to be a gap penetrating defense, destroy your gap, attack your gap. Don't sit there and engage with this offensive lineman. Knock those hands down and get in your gap and play in behind the line of scrimmage. That's what we should be doing. I don't see that at any point in the game from on a consistent basis from multiple linemen. You may see one lineman or two do it on a couple different plays, but it's not consistent, man. And that's coaching, man. That's the problem. Like, they're not being coached these techniques, and they're not being coached to be consistent with these techniques. And that's the issue.
Sam, listen, and Chris got something to say. He can jump back in here in just a second, man. But it's a matter of this. When you're in passing situations, would you prefer that this guy has 5 or 6 seconds or 7 to throw the ball and find a hole in the zone, or he has 2 or 3 seconds because you just sent pressure right up the middle, right up the A and B gap to get in his face and make him throw the ball somewhere. If he's going to throw it, or he's going to fold up and take the sack. Which one do you prefer? Do you prefer him to sit back there and find a hole in your zone, or would you rather attack him and force him to throw the ball somewhere and give you a chance to make a play? It's that damn simple. It's not complicated. It's you send extra pressure, send it right up in his face, and you force him to throw the ball, and it's kind of predictable where he might want to go. You kind of can ID who his favorite target is, and then somebody can have a chance to jump a play. You know, give those guys a chance to play downhill. They're playing backwards, man, and not playing downhill. And that's really pissing me off, man. I'm gonna just be quiet from here.
Well, I wanted to see, and we did see a little bit of Sewell Sunday, but
Yes.
I'm really anxious to see them send him off the edge. With Jones, what they did with Jones against Wright, can we do that? Put Dexter out there.
Man. You use the player. You got personnel that does things specifically well. use them, put them in position to make plays, man. Send them after the quarterback.
Like Walker playing 3-tech. Why haven't we seen Walker at 3-tech? You know, this guy came here. Yeah, we wanted him to play. We got him here to play defensive end. He hasn't done a lot of defensive end right now. Our 3-tech is not doing anything right now. So in those third down situations, those obvious pass rush situations, DeMarcus Walker should be in that 3-tech, man. He got 7 sacks doing that last year. We need to put him in there and see what he can produce, man, and put someone else out there on the edge. Put Green out there on the edge. Green has not been playing terrible. Like he hasn't gotten home, but he's been getting some pressure. So I like seeing that. But we need somebody at that 3-tech position to come in and be disruptive. That's supposed to be the engine of this defense, and we don't have an engine right now. Our motor gone. We need a motor. So so if we don't know who our motor is, we're gonna have to keep installing new motors in there to find out who is going to be, and not keep doing the same old thing and expecting different results.
I keep seeing an apprehensive coach, because I you know what, I beg to kind of ponder what it would look like if Kyler was still in there and Eddie was still in there and Jalen. Now this is why I'm not going foot to the floor and like Flus doesn't know what he's doing. He's tight right now because he's scared to be aggressive with those rookies back there and with your third slot corner in there, and you got Jaquan playing the free, who he's out of position. He's supposed to be playing strong safety. He's apprehensive, but you have got to, as a coach, when you're in a position like this, you have got to throw that out the window. You got to forget your apprehension. You got to put that to the side. Right now, you need these guys to play downhill, aggressive, and give you a chance. Russell Wilson is a 33-year-old, I don't know how many year veteran quarterback, and he will go in his bag on you if you give him time. He will go absolutely in his bag on you if you give him time. His receivers are not hurt. Nope. His offensive line is pretty much, it ain't the best in the world, but it will give him time. If you're going to sit there and go 4 down with all 4 guys with their hands in the dirt and try to rush with 4 that hasn't been getting home at all year, if you keep doing that, you're going to keep getting the same damn result, bro. We lost. Go ahead.
I'm just going to say, man, we lost every game doing that, right? We lost every game trying to do it that way. So if we're going to keep losing games, let's not say that, oh, I'm doing it because of this and I'm doing it because, our back 7, is not fully healthy. Our back 4, where our DBs, we don't have complete health there. I think you have to be aggressive at that point in time, because you don't want those guys to have to sit back there and cover for 7 seconds. That's exactly what you just said. I wouldn't want those guys to have to cover for 7 seconds because they're not the starters. So I'm gonna be aggressive. You need to go out being aggressive. You have to be a little bit more urgency on defense, and not just sit back and allow the defense to do what they want to do. Show them the coverage that we're going to play pre-snap. There's no disguising or anything. Like, I don't understand what we're doing on defense, man. It's just as vanilla as the offense.
Hey, Sam, as they say in the hood, man, if you're scared, go to church.
Go to church, man.
Do something, man. But
go lay down.
You ain't got no business out here if you're scared, man. You need to go sit in the church house or something, man. But if you out here scared, man, you ain't gonna get nothing. Go ahead, Chris.
Man, don't be on those church folks now. No, it does. It works from the inside out. I mean, and I've said this all along. It's about pressure. We can't generate any with the 4. They've got what you guys are saying. They've got to find a way to get some pressure, and it's befuddling to me about Chris, why they're not being more creative.
Chris, they keep fainting pressure with the with who is it? Sanborn and not Sanborn, but Edmonds and TJ Edwards. They keep fainting A and B gap blitz.
Nobody's buying it.
Fall back in coverage.
Yep. Nobody's buying it.
Like, you scared, man.
You haven't sent it Because he hasn't sent it. Where am I buy it if you ain't sending it?
You're right.
He ain't sent it. He sent it one time all year.
You got to show me.
You threatening it every time, but you're not sending it.
Like Derek Carter said, you scared by a dog. Do something, bro. If you scared, man, get on up out here, man. We can't have that, man. You timid. You scared to send fire and bring fire. You have convinced yourself and this fan base that you can get home with 4. Guess what, bro? You can't. You can't get home with 4. Guess what you're going to have to do next? Plan B. Send some blitzes. Fire up the A and B gap with your big linebackers and let them play downhill. That's what you got to do. I'm talking to Flus. If he ever wants to listen to a podcast, this would be the one to listen to right now. You got to forget all your reservations. Forget all your what you think might happen if you did this. Forget that and do it. You might be happy with the results. They're playing backwards and they're catching when they should be playing downhill and aggressive and attacking the offense.
And play some press. God, man. I cannot stand to keep saying these guys.
Get in some man.
Yeah, we got to get in some man. Even if we're going to drop back into zone, play some press, man. We got to press these receivers. We cannot allow these guys to just free release off the line of scrimmage every time and just go where they want to go.
Sit down. And just sit down, and the ball's right there waiting on them.
It's like, man, it's the craziest thing I ever seen. Like, we got Travis Kelce, the best player on that offense last week, man, running into zones with no one watching him. So that means that there's no emphasis being placed on, always knowing where Travis Kelce is and having someone attached to him in every zone coverage.
He had time to order a Baconator and the fries and eat it all.
He's waving and blowing kisses at Taylor Swift and like, hey, I'm about to catch this ball, baby. Look, everything. Everything. Like, come on, dog.
Come on here, man. You got to come out the zone. You've got
coaching, man. That's coaching. There has to be coaching because the best player on every team has had success against us, right? The best offensive player on every team, the best wide receiver and tight end on every team that we face has had success against us in each of the last 3 games, right? But they telling us that we can't get the ball to DJ Moore, though. I'm just confused about what's going on out here. So what's going on with coaching? If the other team can get their best playmakers the ball, but we can't get our best playmakers the ball, the other team can run when they want to, but y'all telling us that we don't match up well against the run for the past 3 games. So we've only rushed the game at an average of 15 times a game these past 3 games. It makes no sense to me. Like, we just allowing teams to dictate what they want us, what we can do and what we can't do. That's not good coaching.
I gotta tell you a funny story, man. You talking about Flus being stuck in the mud and so routine oriented and get comfortable with his routine so much to the point. Like, I had a dude on my pool team when I was in Atlanta, man. It's a real quick story, man. Dude named Mark. And we was in the middle of a heated pool tournament. This is when we get ready to qualify to go to Vegas, man. We get ready to play in, like, the match before us was probably going to be over in the next 20, 30 minutes. Next thing you know, I'm looking at my one of my teammates and he's spazzing out. I'm like, hey, man, what's your problem, man? What's going on? He said, I didn't get my turkey sandwich, my turkey and ham sandwich. I said, what? I said, man, they got turkey and ham over there. He said, no, they don't make it the way I make it at home. I said, dog, what are you doing? You going to leave? He said, I got to go home and I forgot to have my turkey and ham sandwich. So this dude, literally, I had to go with him just to make sure that he was able to go home in time and hook up his turkey and ham sandwich and get back in time so we can play that match. So if his number was called or his name was called for the match, that he'd be there. I said, I was cussing him out the whole time. I was like, you effing kidding me, man? You mean to tell me you had to stop? This is like 8 o'clock at night, man. He's supposed to have that turkey sandwich around 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. He forgot to add it to his routine. He got busy. But the point of it is, you have people that are so routine oriented,
yes,
and so into the cycle of what they do in their day-to-day life. If something come up short, and so they don't, like, their whole day is off. Everything is off. Like, Flus reminds me of a guy that gets up every day and does the exact same thing, no breaks in between it, no disruption. If it doesn't go right, he's gonna be upset for the rest of the day. That's a good way to be. That's almost like military. But when you're a football coach and you have to adjust to adversity and things that have happened to you in game, live and in action, you have to be able to adjust to it. And if you can't, if you just want to stick to your routine, man, you're gonna be out of a job out here, man. And Nomad is the #1 supporter of Matt Eberflus out here. You're gonna mess around and be out of job. Keep fooling around like this, man.
Yeah, you're gonna coach yourself right out of town with that attitude, man, if you want to be set in those ways.
So what happens Sunday if we get blowed out?
Man, he's gonna be out of town soon. I don't know if it's gonna happen this season, but
yeah. Oh, it's gonna happen this season. I don't not in season. You say in season. No, I don't think it'll happen in season.
They've never fired a coach in season.
No, I don't think it'll happen in season, but I think like I said, man, these next 4 games are winnable games. Now we need to show some grit. Even if we don't win these games, we need to show some grit. We need to show some fight because we haven't seen much of that. I don't know the players. It doesn't look like the players are bought into hits. That whole hits philosophy, because hits means that you're going to execute at that.
Man,
you play high intensity so you can have the optimal execution. Like we're not executing, but then you're telling me that the players aren't executing. And then we see on defense guys not running to the ball. We don't see gang tackling like we did with Lovey. That was high intensity. When Lovey was running his defense, we saw gang tackling and guys get standing guys up, and then Peanut come punch the ball out. That's what we saw. We don't see that happening here, man. We see maybe 2 guys get there. We see defensive linemen running back. Our rookies have been playing. They believe in it. They've been playing pretty well, like as far as getting up and chasing the ball after the ball is passed.
That's that college play carryover.
Yep, and that's just the carryover. Yeah, exactly.
You know what?
Veterans aren't bought in, man.
Hey Sam, you know what Russell Wilson's kryptonite is 2 things. #1 is AB got blitz or double A got blitz. #1, you put that pressure right in his damn face, and he's gonna either fold up and go into fetal, or he's gonna do something erratic. He used to do something erratic back in the day. Nowadays he goes in the fetal and he just balls up and he won't take the hit. Or he's really deep ball greedy like Justin. He's gonna hold on to that ball a little extra time, try to see if something breaks deep so he can hit you with uncork one deep. So he'll hold on to that ball so late edge pressure can get to him. Those are his 2 Achilles heels. I've been watching this dude for a long time. I'm telling you, double A gap pressure or AB gap pressure, some might say, is gonna disrupt everything for him. Or if you sit a delayed blitz coming off his blind side, you can crush him and get that ball out of him. So that's just
can't let him step up in the pocket, man. No. You let him step up in the pocket. If you let him stick, because he'll step up in the pocket, he'll allow the rush to go around him and behind him. If he does that, then good luck, because he's gonna find somebody open down the field. And once he starts doing this, bumping up, he's gonna find somebody. So that's what we don't want to see. That's why we have to get some pressure from that 3 tech and from that nose guard position. We have to dent the pocket. If we don't dent the pocket, then we're in trouble. And like you said, Nomad, I would just blitz those gaps. But if we're going to blitz those gaps, then the defensive linemen need to know not to be in those gaps. They need to be carrying the offensive linemen out of those gaps. So that's what's not happening. That's why our blitzes haven't been effective, because it's not in sync, man. The defense, if we're going to blitz, then the defensive lineman needs to know what gap you're about to hit, and I need to take this man out of that gap. I need to create that opening for you to get that free rush. That's when the defense is in sync, and that's just not happening, man. I think our defensive line coach is the worst coach on this team, man. I said it last year. I'm gonna say it again this year. We saw regression from players, and we haven't seen not one player get better. We see Yannick got here, missed the 7 sack per year, 11 sack last year guy. Come here, he hasn't done anything either. So, man, it's just not in sync. Those guys aren't playing well. Those guys aren't developing. So,
Chris, don't you say it. Just say that comment. I already know what you about to say. Don't even say it. So here's my thing about the whole thing. What's interesting is they, matchup styles. I'm like, when I look at football games, I think boxing. Styles make fights, right? The style, your style versus that style, how does it match up? Russell Wilson doesn't have I would say he's got a semi DK Metcalf, that's a Sutton. He doesn't have what's the other little guy's name? Tyler Lockett that can take cap off the defense. He's got Jerry Jeudy who can do that too. But Tyler Lockett is better for so many different reasons, man, as a route runner, man. I mean, he is dynamic. He doesn't
highly underrated.
Yes, he does not get the credit that he deserves, man.
Yep.
He doesn't have those guys out there. I think it's a really good matchup for a couple of rookies to have a couple decent sized receivers to match up with. I think even though they're rookies, I think Terrell Smith and Tyreek Stevenson are going to match up well against their top team.
Yep,
I think it's going to be a solid matchup for them. I'm not saying they're going to win everything, but it's going to be a good. They're not so dynamic. Those receivers are not so dynamic to where this is going to give them the flux for a whole 4 quarters. So I think they're going to fare well against that receiving core.
I agree. Yeah, they played some good disciplined football, man. Our entire secondary, man, they've held their own when they could, man. I think that they've been coached well. You know, we've rotated a lot of corners in over the past 2 years now, and every time we rotated a guy in, you know, they've, you know, held their own. You know, they're gonna get beat playing these zones the entire time, but you know, they're executing their jobs out there. I think that we just need to allow those guys to be a little bit more aggressive at the line of scrimmage and give them some opportunity to make some plays, man. That's what's not happening in the secondary right now. We're expecting the defensive linemen to get them those opportunities by you know, getting those pass rushes and the ball coming out early, but it just hasn't been happening, and it's not going to happen because it hasn't been happening, man, because we just don't have that talent on the team right now, so we're going to have to get a little bit more creative and a little bit more aggressive.
Where does Kevin Warren set in the solution?
Nowhere.
Right now,
is he the stadium guy?
He shouldn't have anything. This is when you let the people that made choices before you got here make choices to decide what to do moving forward. I did hear I seen a little, I don't know if it was a leak or somebody trying to start some SHIT. I don't know, but it was said that you know, it was that he said there needs to be some change. Something needs to change right now. Now, here's the thing. I do believe that there is a chance, even though it's a small glimmer of hope right now, the way I feel about the whole thing. But I do know that in the first 3 or 4 games, you know, teams are finding themselves kind of, and they're trying to figure out exactly how they want to attack and what they want to be. Every team is kind of figuring that out. And some teams get off to a really good start. They had a good camp. They got continuity with the pieces that they have, and they come out to a really good start. Got a bunch of new guys on defense and offense, and they've gotten off to a rocky start. And I'm just trying to be fair. Everybody knows us. The Nomad Network is, if you can call us anything, you better make sure you put fair in there, because we are that. I think there's an opportunity, even though we think it's slim. I think there's still an opportunity for them to turn the page, and they can do that. This is a perfect kind of game to make some people feel different about what this team can be. I don't know what to do if we don't win this game, but I know that if they come out here and some stuff starts to click and they start doing some things different and they figured out some stuff in practice that they like, that they think they can apply to this game, it can jolt this team a little bit. And the question is, the biggest question in the room is, do the guys in that locker room feel like they have it in them to give them all that they have one more time? Just give everything we got, put our bodies on the line, because at the end of the day, it's up to them. Do they have it in them to put their bodies on the line and trust this coaching staff one more time just to see if this is going to really work? Do they have the guys in there to sew them up and keep them together to go out there and put their best performance out there on the field? I don't know. I hope so. I really do, man. I hope they can bring it together and go out there and put a positive performance on this field and give themselves a chance and give these fans some hope. That's what I hope happens moving forward.
I think one thing's for sure: a convincing win Sunday would definitely change some stuff. It changes everything.
Changes everything.
You
It's
see,
on you.
Justin come out and have a great game. See the defense, do something different. It changes everything. It completely changes the narrative.
Yes.
And it gives us a week of 4 days of relief anyway.
Which will be good. I want to get right back on that horse. Which
Yep.
will be good. But a bad loss is going to do the exact opposite, man.
Oh, it's going to do the exact
That's what we
opposite.
can't have. That's what we can't have. And that's when I think Kevin Warren is going to have to step in and have some conversations with some people with Ryan. And then, and it's going to trickle down to coaching, because it's going to have to be a change at that point in time. But it probably won't happen until after the Washington game, seeing as how, that next game is within 4 days. But depending on if we lose this game, depending on the manner in which we lose, meaning that if it's another embarrassing loss and we don't look good as a team on any phase, it's the same way we've looked these past 3 games, then man, someone's head is gonna have to roll, because there's gonna have to be some accountability, because this is not what the expectation was for this season. They sold the fan base on, this was a year that we could compete for the division, and we're seeing virtually every team in the division play much better than us right now, and we're at the bottom of the league looking up right now. If we lose this game in embarrassing form to a team that just had 70 ran up on them, like, it's not going to be pretty.
Hey, Chris.
Yes,
I
sir.
don't want to rub you the wrong way, but
you're going to.
I feel like yeah, it's probably gonna do it. But I feel like Flus is coaching like a church boy, man. You know what they say about the church boys back in the day, man. Like, hey, man, you going in the house, man.
You don't want to.
House, man. You scared out here. Just leave him alone, man. He a church boy, man. He's scared, man. That's how he's coaching, man.
Scared. Yep, that's exactly how he's coaching. And what happened? Because last year, man, I didn't feel this way about this coaching staff. Now, I think we were all a little high on our coaching staff last year, because we saw a lot of adjustments in the game, especially after halftime. We saw our team come back out. We saw a lot of fighting on our team. We saw creativity on offense and on defense. So what happened? And this is with lesser talent. So I don't understand, what happened between last year and this year. So I'm just so confused about this right now. Like, this is not what I expected to be our issue this year, was coaching. But we haven't seen anything to suggest that these guys are going to get it on track, though. I'll tell you that, because we haven't seen those in-game adjustments. We haven't seen any changes from game to game. So
it looks like confusion.
Hoodwink.
Hey, Taurine, I was a church boy, but not a church boy.
No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't, Taurine. No, he wasn't. If Mama made him go, Mama made him go.
School boy. I ain't go to church. I was a Sunday school boy.
He was outside
at church, though, boy.
He like the Sunday school teacher.
Hey, Taurine, he don't know about the church guys. Church guys, hey, they'll pray for you, and then they'll smack you beside your head.
Man. I got the squabble with one before, man. That dude bit me, man.
Well, he wasn't scared. He prayed for you afterwards too.
Yeah, his mother did. His mother did. That's funny, man. But yeah, I was just being funny, man. Church, that's just a little something that goes on in the hood. Like the church kids, you kind of got to pass. Leave him alone. He's a church boy. They would say stuff like that. Even though I went to Sunday school, I wasn't considered a church boy because, I was always fighting all the time. But yeah, man, Flus is just tight. He's just tight and conservative and doesn't know how to not be the stick in the mud. Today, this Sunday, he's going to have to get out of his own way and be very, very aggressive and make this game happen. Make this a win. You know what I mean? You can't just wait for it to happen, play a whole 4 quarters trying to do the same old thing. You got to go attack these dudes and make sure you get this W. That's how you do it. Go downhill, play downhill.
Yep, the entire game too, and don't let up. Let up.
They got to get mad at it. You got to be mad at the situation, and the coach speak is really what's bothering me. I quit watching the press conferences because they don't say anything. And it reminds me so much of Nagy last year with the whys, and we're trying to figure out the whys. And right now, maybe he doesn't know what to say. Maybe there's not a lot to say when your team's playing like this. But you know what? I look for a little bit more honesty, and that's what's refreshing when you see,
Players.
what Claypool said, when
Yep.
you see what
Mm-hmm.
Justin says,
Yep.
they're being honest, and we
Mm-hmm.
appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
Ditka was honest, Bill Parcells was honest. You want to see
Yeah.
that from coaches, because
Look at
they should be mad about it. They should be
like
upset.
LaFleur last night. Did you see
Exactly.
LaFleur? LaFleur was pissed. He was pissed
Yeah.
at the halftime interview, and then he was pissed last night in that
Mhm.
closing game interview. Like, man, that's what we want to see. We want to see that fire from our coach. We want to. I think the players want to see that too.
Yeah, they do. They
You know
do,
what I
because
want to
they're
see?
the ones out there putting the sweat and blood and tears on the field.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I want to see? I want to see dynamic. I want to see variations. I want him to be looking at, he ought to be looking at other 4-3s around the league, because it's not like Kansas City has this vaunted front. They've got Jones, and the rest of them are just guys. You know what I mean? They're about the same as we got across the line. However, they use this guy in ways that, now I'll tell you this. San Francisco was another 4-3 I forgot to put out there. They run the same scheme,
Yeah.
but they have
They got
absolute
dogs.
They got
stud.
dogs on D line. Oh, yeah, there's no comparison.
Yeah.
And, they can
Now-
rush for. They can
now-
rush for.
Put San Francisco to the side. Dallas is right there under them as far as the amount of dogs they got on their defensive front. The
Yeah.
other teams that run this well, they got guys just like we do. It's about how you use those guys. Get dynamic, get diverse. Don't put out the same thing that they know that they can expect. I heard Sean Payton's presser today. I looked at that before I came onto the show, and it absolutely upset me, because he said that he knows that Flus is a respectable, very well respected coach in this league, defensive coordinator in particular. But what he said is, I looked at what the defense looked like, when the other guy was there, talking about Alan Williams, the past season when he was here, onto the last couple of games since Flus was the coordinator. And he said, and I think I can't quote him, so I'm gonna paraphrase what he said. I think we know what to expect.
Yep.
What does that tell you?
That's terrible. That's
What does that
terrible
tell
to hear. That's what you don't want to hear. That's what you don't want to hear. That means he's predictable, and like you said, he's that old dog set in his ways. We know what to expect. We know what's coming, and we got something for it. And that's what I was gonna go with it, man. I want to see some creativity, man. You got to utilize some of these players, man, for the talents that they have, like Noah Sewell, like we said, like that guy, we know he can rush the passer from the linebacker position, send him off the edge, put him in the game, man. Get creative with the talents that we have, man. And I also want to see some leadership, man, from our guys that we paid to come here and play, man. Because I haven't seen much or heard much from Edmonds or Edwards, man, during this losing streak, man. I want to see those guys fire up that defense, man, and show some leadership, man. Talk to those guys out there. We don't see any communications out
there. Let
there.
them attack, Sam. You gotta let them get in the attack mode. You gotta let them get in the attack mode.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta get hype. That's what I'm saying. You gotta get these guys hype, man. You gotta let them play loose and let them play fast and physical. Like, we just sitting back in zone. So that's not playing loose, fast, and physical. We're sitting back in zones and then attacking once the ball is thrown to the man who's sitting in the zones, in the open part of the zone. So I don't understand the way we're playing defense. Offense is the same thing, man. I want to see some creativity. I want to see us attack defenses the way that we want to attack them, and not let them dictate to us what we can do, because that's just what's happening on both sides of the ball right now, and that has to change. If it doesn't change, then I say Flus and Getsy can go, man. But we've seen it last year. We've seen them pivot last year. This is the time to pivot right now.
I remember my boy Sean Sierra, man. Our guy Sean Sierra got at me in a DM. He was just like, man, what do you think about the picking of Noah Sewell? And I told him right off the top, I had studied the SHIT out of him, and I said that he was the best blitzing and spying linebacker. What I mean by blitzing, you know what I mean by that. Spying linebacker is a linebacker that can kind of trace the quarterback and his movements and know when to attack. You know what I'm saying? He would He would sit there and be in pace with the quarterback's movement, and then know exactly, had a timer in his head, know exactly what's going on here, and attack that quarterback. Why we haven't used that guy? You know who had the same kind of similar traits to that? Is Tremaine Edmonds. He's got exactly the same kind of traits about him. Why you haven't used him is because you're scared and you want to leave him in coverage because you're scared of what's going to happen to you behind him in the zone. If you get out of your zone once in a while and start playing some man and be aggressive, you might be surprised at the results that might show up, because they're going to speed up the process. They're going to speed up the play. They're going to speed up the decision-making of the quarterback. And you might get somebody to get a ball. So you got to be thinking like that. If you're not, you're going to be out of a job real soon, no matter how much the Nomad Network wants to support you. You're going to be out of a job if you don't get aggressive. Matt Eberflus.
It's true. That's the truth. That is the truth, man. We want to see these guys be aggressive, man. And, not having, our 3 of our 4 DBs, man, that's rough on any defense. That'll be rough on anyone. Or really it's really 4 out of the 5 if you think about that nickel back as well. So
it's going to be rougher if they don't get no pressure.
But yeah, that's where I was just going with it. But it's going to be much rougher if you just let those guys sit back there and run past these guys and show some creativity to our guys, and not some stuff that we are not expecting. Some different route combinations and things like that. So we got to be aggressive, man. We got to get the ball out of Russell's hand quick, and whatever happens from there happens.
There was a play that when I was in high school, this was my favorite play because I was a corner in high school. It was called Cannon, and it's basically a corner blitz. It's like cannon left or cannon right. You hear that you waiting to hear that in the huddle. And when he starts calling plays like that, my coach is pretty tight, like Flus is. But every now and again, when we start getting a little adversity in the game, he knew to call my blitz out, and I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that quarterback. And so when he starts calling that kind of stuff, and I get home and I get to the quarterback, oh, okay, now he's a little bit more aggressive. Now, next thing you know, he's sending linebackers on blitzes. Now he's sending the nickel on a blitz. He's doing stuff now once he sees the success of being aggressive. So I think there's a possibility that can actually happen here if they can have some success in a blitz and playing a little coverage behind it. If they can have some success early on one of those, any kind of blitz, whether it's up the middle or a corner blitz, wherever it's from, nickel, if they can have some success early and they can get home on a blitz, and the secondary players well behind it, then you might start seeing a different kind of Matt Eberflus. We might start, kind of dialing it up a little bit. All right, I like what I'm seeing out there. Let's do that. Let's try it from over here now. You know what I mean? Yeah. So there's a chance, guys. Don't write this guy off yet. There's a chance that he might be able to turn the page.
They got to get there, and they got to finish them too. Because can you count how many whiffed sacks they've had this year?
2, man.
I know Ngakwe's had at least 2.
He's had about 4. I count a few that Green's had a couple.
Yeah.
Strowman had one where he was the corner blitz. He was the corner blitz, and he missed them. So we've missed quite a few sacks this year. We've gotten in 3rd and long situations a lot this year, man, and we're just sitting back in zones and allowing teams to just pass their way out of it. Like, we can't continue to do that.
We're giving them 60%.
That's crazy.
Down. Yeah.
Bear Truth 9, man. If was a 5th, man, what the hell else we got but an if? Man, we just hoping. We out here hoping just like everybody else. I pray to God this man is able to turn the page and get out of his own way and become the defensive coordinator that I know he has the smarts to be, but does he have he's got to let his nuts drop in this game, man. He really does, man. He's got to let the nuts drop and you got to be a man out here and show that you playing with a bunch of men. Let them be men. This is Chicago, man. We play aggressive defensive football, man. Get after these cats, man, and get this crowd into the game, and you might have a different result out here, man. I think if he does that, we will, man.
I think so too, man. And I'm looking forward to seeing those 2 rookies out there, Corner, man, and Smith. and Stevenson, man. That's what I wanted to see this year. I think they're gonna hold their own. I think they're gonna surprise some people, and I like the matchup, excuse me, that they have against the wide receivers of Denver. So it's gonna be a good game. I think they'll hold their own, man. We can trust them to do that. But so go ahead, send those blitzes, be aggressive. Even if we got to do some little zone blitzing and drop one of those defensive linemen out and let them cover a zone or something every now and then. We can do that, man, because they're not getting home anyway. Let's just get someone else. Let's just rush from different angles and try to get this man to the ground.
Go ahead, Chris. You got something?
Well, I was going to say, if it continues, man, they probably need to bring who's our 7th round pick, the young boy from
Michigan. Bell, Travis Bell.
Yeah, might as well promote him.
Give him some time.
Promote him. I mean, you know what? Take away the red shirt season and let him play.
I agree.
mean, you know what? You have nothing to lose.
You done already drove off the cliff. I ain't there with you.
I'm there with you, Chris, because I'm done with Justin Jones, man. Justin Jones does nothing. He gives you nothing in the game.
He's your depth. He's your depth.
He gives you nothing.
He is your depth. He was our depth last year, and he was the best interior player we had last year. But he was depth last year, and it's just, I know those guys aren't walking around on the street, waiting to get called. But the reality is that we just don't have that. We don't have that talent. I'd say, hey, let Travis Bell come up. He can't do no worse.
Nope.
All I know is
Cliff, here I come.
He made just as many tackles as Justin Jones did in that first game.
Man, all I know is Russell Wilson better feel like he been through hell week and on a college campus trying to get on with some fraternity. He better feel like that when this game is over. Like they better be on his ASS, man. I mean that. They better be on him, man. If the Bears have any hope to rescue this season and be some kind of relevant in their record, wins and losses, it starts right now. You're going to have a spark, and you're going to have to put that boy on the run. Yes, he is dangerous when he's on the run. Yes. Put him on the run anyway and take your chances. You better get after him. He ain't as fast and quick as he used to be.
Exactly.
You best get on him. So, the Bears, man, here, I will say this to you guys as fans, and I'm a fan too, just like you are. I want to say this. You can be a fan or you can be an ASS hole. One of the two. You can go in that stadium and be a total ASS if you want to be. Or you can be very supportive and try to ride this out with this team and be the fan that you need to be for this team right now. I think there's no other time that I can remember that they need us more than anything else. And so you can go into this stadium if you are a person that attends these games, be somebody that wants to represent. Because at the end of the day, you know damn well you ain't going to be nothing but a Bears fan the rest of your life anyway. So why go in that stadium and be obtuse to what they need? Be what they need, man, and don't be messing around and following the herd, man. Check somebody if they're starting to be like that. Get in somebody's behind. Like, dog, don't be like that. If we start seeing a little adversity, but man, this is the time when fans are needed. This is the time when fans show you who they are, man. Either you are either a fan of the Bears, like I have been my whole life, like the rest of these guys have been their whole life, or you're not. So we're gonna be here if things go well or if things go bad. So you might as well be supportive and try to give these guys the kind of momentum and the boost that they need. You can't do that. You have that under your control. That's the part that you can control, is being supportive. And I know we said a lot of stuff tonight, and I know we meant every bit of it. But at the end of the day, they need us right now more than anything else, man. Boost these guys. Be positive and try to give them the win they need behind them. And let's see what happens, man.
For sure. Shout out to CHGO and Mark Carmen, man, who's asking Bears fans not to boo at the stadium this weekend, man. And, I was surprised to hear that. They don't want them to boo Justin Fields. We want to chant as opposed to booing. let's go, Justin, man, to get these guys going, man. And hopefully, that lights a fire under them and they get the support that they need from us as fans. My support for this team hasn't wavered. I don't think that it ever will. My belief in Justin hasn't wavered just yet. Does Justin need to play better? Absolutely. But I think coaching has to be better. And, the guys around him also have to be better. So with that said, I'm bearing down this weekend. I'm bearing down on Sunday, as I always do. I hope you are too. Shout out to all the Nomaniacs who were riding with us tonight. I hope you guys, feel a little bit better about things and you guys understand where we're coming from and what we see and hoping for creativity like we are. And, we're going to let the chips fall where they may.
I'm going to say shout out to Ken Schaefer. He's been a fan since 1962. So he's elite. He's seen 2 championships. That supersedes my 1969. I've only seen 1. In the first year I ever watched the Bears, they went 1-13. So it's only been up for me. So, but yeah, man, I just, I there's no choice for me but to root for this team. But I want to see solutions. I want to see them try to fix stuff. Just don't sit still and say, we got to keep working to get better. You got to make things happen. You got to be aggressive. This is football. I want to see them make some moves to make. We didn't expect to win a championship, but we do want to win every week. So I just want to see improvement. And I think if we win, it's going to make for, it could change some stuff around. But I don't get off the bus, man. I've been riding this bus for a long time, so I just hey, everybody, don't forget to subscribe. We need your subscriptions, we need your shares, your likes. Do that, please, and bear down.
Amen. I'm gonna leave you guys with this right here, man. There's 2 types of people in this world, and this is in regards to fans, not just people, period. There are people who wait for things to happen, and there are people that make things happen. As a fan, you can help make things happen. You ain't got to wait for it. You can help make things happen. Slap on the bleachers, slap on the ground, slap on whatever they give you. Give these guys the boost that they need, man. If you start seeing them get a little down, boost them up. Start making a little noise. No booing. Start making a little noise. Clap them up. Do whatever you got to do, but be the asset you can be as a fan. That's the one thing you have under your control. You can be an asset as a fan and boost these guys, because I bet you they're not feeling so good about coming out of that tunnel, not knowing what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Because of, how things have gone so far, but you can help them. And, you just don't, you never know, man. The things that you do, your energy can help turn this thing around. You never know. But if you go with the negative mindset and you approach this with the wrong kind of energy, and then obtuse things happen, what do you expect? You helped it happen because you came with the wrong energy. So as fans, we can be better. As people, we can be better. Bring that kind of attitude to the stadium if you're going, and let's see what happens, man. But before we get out of here, I got to say this to you guys, because I love you guys all the time, and I respect you guys for always rocking with us, man. And it never gets boring to me to see you guys in this chat, and the guys that people that watch this show, man. Hey, man, love you guys from the bottom of my heart. Before we get out of here, though, I got to say this: love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.
Y'all.